Hey everybody, we are live. It's funny. You hit a little button that says go live, and then you hit the button and it says, do you want to go live? And you hit the button and it says, are you sure? They really want to make sure that you want to go live. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? Sandra, Rick, Robert, Tom. Simon will be here shortly. He is experiencing operating difficulties. Hey, Zach, Patrick, StreamYard. How are you, StreamYard? So tonight we're going to talk about battery-powered amps, desktop amps. I have a little bit of experience. I recently bought a few battery-powered amps. Luckily, I threw them all in the garbage. No. Movies and stuff. Welcome. How's the weather in North Dakota? Hey, Brad. How's the weather in North Dakota, Rick? Let's find out what the weather's like in North Dakota. Then I think we can move forward. Oh, Rick's not going to tell us. Question, does the Frontman 10G, does the Frontman count? No, it doesn't. That's a good question. There's a lot of amps. You could, the Vox AC4, right? That could fit on the top of a desk. I mean, any little, 5-watt boutique amplifier, small bad cat, probably, I'm sure, Top Hat, Matchless, a lot of these companies probably make, we're talking about the inexpensive, kind of all-in-one boxes. They're usually, I guess it doesn't have to be, but in my opinion, they're all going to be either battery powered or they'll have, lots of effects and things built into them, kind of the Spark model. That was the idea. But I mean, I guess, yeah, if you want to, it's up to you. If you want to count it as a desktop amp because you can put it on top of the desk, then you can also have a big desk, right? If you have a really big desk, you could easily put a Marshall stack, even a Marshall wall. If you had a really big desk, like, the president's desk, you could put, 2 full stacks in there. So I don't know if that would count. We have to have Simon weigh in on that. Whole state was closed for days due to blizzard, it says. I have a Blackstar Fly 3 bass amp that was free with a 6-month subscription to Bass Player Mag. Well, you think it would be the other way around, that if you bought the amp, you would get the subscription to the magazine. But no, the amp is so inexpensive to make that if you buy the subscription to the magazine, you get the amplifier. That's crazy. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about desktop amps. And I don't know if any of you have seen my video on the Positive Grid Mini. But the gist of it is, if you haven't seen it, the cliff notes are, if you already own the Spark and you don't need to, Simon's holding something up. I don't know. He's doing sign language and I don't sign. What does this mean? Does anybody know what this means? I know what this means, but I don't know what this means. So I think it means that there's problems with the amp. He also was going like this for a little bit too when he was plugging it in. So there it is.
Hey!
Oh, it's windy there. Oh, it's really windy there. Wow.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's a bit windy, but it's okay.
All right, he's sinking.
Hi everyone, how are you? Sorry, I had some dramas today. I was going to borrow a Yamaha amp. Am I vocal loud enough?
You got tons of noise from your end going on right now. Now
really?
it's stopped.
That's exciting.
Now it's stopped.
Okay.
Here we go.
I was going to borrow a Yamaha amp for 3 different people, and that one was away. The other guy had forgotten the power cable, and the other person didn't have it after all. And so I have ended up today with the Boss Katana.
No, not the Boss Katana. The Boss Katana Mini.
The Boss Katana Mini. It is it's genuinely like this big.
And you know what sucks about that? Of all the amps that Simon could have, right? I bought this amp specifically for this video. I'm going to return it, though. I bought, of all the stupid desktop amps you could buy, I bought the Boss Katana Mini, thinking that would be a good comparison. But since Simon already has it.
Well, at the moment, I can't actually get the sound over the internet. So, whatever.
Those of you that live in the U.S., I don't know what it's like in Europe. So, Sandra, I don't want you to get sucked into this if this is not true. You can, anything after, I think, October 25th that you buy on Amazon, you don't have to return until January 31st. So I've been using them as kind of a rental service recently. I got a bunch of microphones. I'm actually trying a few microphones out to see which one I want to keep. But I figure I'm going to buy at least one. So They're going to make money eventually on me. I spend plenty of money there. So do I feel badly? No. But we're going to talk about desktop amps. So let me ask you this question first. Everybody that's here tonight, put in the comment section what desktop amps you have. And yeah, if you use movies and stuff does, if you use a little Frontman as your desktop amp, maybe you've got your amp on your desk and you ride pedals on down below. That's cool. I mean, whatever you have, whatever you use. Or how about this? What do you use as your practice amp? That's probably the best place to start. None. Tom G says none. Tom is mostly an acoustic player. Tom is one of my students, so he uses none. He's got some really nice Taylors. If I had the Taylors he had, I probably wouldn't need an amp either. So
hey, I might just see if the sound is coming to you, I'll just do a little bit of playing. Like, imagine we're in a gig and I'm doing the sound check, right?
All right, go ahead. So Simon's going to play now.
2, 1, 2, 2. So,
so far so good.
Can you hear that?
I can hear it loud and clear.
I actually quite like this little amp.
Yeah, it actually sounds better than I thought. I plugged it in only for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, you know. It's pretty cool, huh?
You know what I want to know? Let me ask. So this is a good question to ask because I know other people out there. I know Dennis and Robert and Jim's. I don't know this, or Burton and Bob. I just wanted to say hello to them. Why is it that, and not just you, I do it too. Whenever anybody's like demoing something or just doing like a little flare, everybody always does the little. What is that?
Well, I tell you what. How about I don't do that, and I play something?
Yeah, play something. Go ahead.
I don't know. I think that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, if we were in sync, I did a little solo just at the very end there. Most of it I didn't stomp on. So
I'm gonna just turn the gain down.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty good. I have to say, but I know I'll forget this if I don't say it now. What I thought was a really good. I compared a bunch of desktop amps, and Zach makes a good point. We'll get to that too.
How about this is a cleaner sound, also playing a song.
Okay, go ahead. Zach has got me. Zach is going to get me on my soapbox. First of all, that was very good, Simon. It does sound great. What does that mean? They take pedals well. I mean, what does it mean that an amp takes pedals well? Excuse me. I'm probably going to get censored here, but what fucking amp doesn't take pedals well, right? I mean, give me a break, right? And I'm not, Zach. You're great. We're good buddies, but I hear that all the time. It takes pedals well. I mean, are there amps that actually, like, when you plug the pedals in, they short circuit, or all of a sudden they sound like shit? I don't know. Jim says it too. Jim isn't also a pedal taker. I don't know. I bet you, yeah, Robert too. I don't understand the pedal thing, right? I bet you if I plug my pedals into the Spark, it will take pedals well. It won't get offended by it. The Ibanez T20.
Maybe we should try.
I'm going to find. Yeah, let's do that. Let's not put these down. Let's do this. Let's try to find the amp that doesn't take pedals well.
Pedals. Look,
it's got to be an amp that doesn't suck, though, right? It has to be an amp that doesn't suck.
Well, this doesn't suck.
I hope this video doesn't go viral. Then we have to stomp out. We have to edit out my F bomb there. We'll see.
Now
If,
look at this, right?
yeah,
So we've
yeah,
got pedals. Like, what have we got here? I've got a fuzz, overdrive, delay, because you can never have enough delay. Everybody
The
knows.
Spark doesn't take pedals well. All right, you know what, Simon, you take over for a minute. I'm gonna have to grab my
Okay.
pedals. All right, you
All
take
right.
over.
So how about I just do some guitar playing and give you the idea of the sound. I hope everybody can hear this amp okay. I'm slightly worried that you can't hear the amp okay.
Can you guys see
But
me?
let's
I'm gonna get some pedals.
cool. But let's sort of figure it out, right? So I've basically got gain, volume, bass treble, bass middle treble, and then there's also a delay actually on this tiny amp, which I think cost about $100. So there's the time. How about that? What do we think? Is that a good sound? I think it's a pretty good sound. Now, the thing I think about the Spark is it's too fiddly. I don't like that. I like to go, I like to turn dials and just get the sound, right? Don't you? Is that what you like? I like this. Now, this has also got a few different amp models on it. That was the Crunch. This is the extra gain thing. Whoa, hey?
We're gonna see if my Spark explodes when I put pedals into it.
But look, how good does that sound, Mark? I know you weren't there, but listen to this.
Sounds great. Yeah.
It's unreal. So I've got the gain towards the bottom. I've got volume 3/4 of the way up, and I've got basically all the EQ flat, and I'm going to put a little bit of delay. Right? So now I can play. Yeah? What's wrong with that?
You're kidding. 21. There they go. We were at 39 when you started playing. Now we're at 16. No, I'm kidding.
We turn higher. I think this thing is awesome. How good is that amp?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Maybe I'll keep mine.
I just think it's killer.
So these are pedals going into. I've got everything flat on the Spark. Got a little comps. We got a little pop. And I've actually got a Spark. I've got a different Spark, the little Spark pedal. Nothing to do with Positive Grid. It's a little gain pedal. And then if I throw on my noisy Dumbler here. I mean, to me, it sounds just like, and the reverb sounds fine. It sounds like just like it's coming through the any other amp I have. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm. Little treble sound, right? I think it sounds good. I don't know. It's a little noisy, but that's my pedal's fault. That's not
Do you know? I think that takes pedals well. Conversation. Can I tell you what it is? Can I tell you what it is?
Yeah, tell me. You're keeping me in suspense here.
There are some pedals that do not go or don't sound quite like you expecting them to sound with certain amps.
Okay. All right.
Right. So, for example, I own 18,463 different overdrive pedals.
Okay. It's a lot.
And there are some that sound great into my beautiful 1967 Fender Deluxe Reverb. Oh, yeah,
now,
man.
Is that a real 67? Is that from 67?
1967, yeah.
Let me ask you, what do they do before you finish? You know, they distress guitars, right? They just, they fuck up. Or yeah, there's two now. They mess them all up. And so, yeah, Jim, I get what you're saying, Jim. I'm not trying to cut you down, Jim. Not at all. I mean, I understand. Everybody always brags about every amp that takes pedals well. And I guess some amps are better than others for sure. But anyway, so what do they do to distress? Like if you buy like a vintage 67 amp, do they drop the thing? Do they like rip the
No, look how nice it is. It's still in great nick, right?
No, but that's an original 67. What I want to know is like when they distress a guitar, right? You buy a brand new guitar and it's already like got all the stuff that you don't want on it, right? I mean, my guitars, let me tell you something. This guitar right here, I played 500 gigs with this guitar. All right. And I'm a sweaty guy, right? This guitar is in perfect shape. Like the only thing on this guitar, you can tell that I like to play up high a little bit. There's a little bit of see the little rub off right there on that. Otherwise,
yeah.
Like 500 gigs. This thing looks like it just came out of the factory. There's no nicks on it.
Yeah, I've got to say, I've done a lot of gigs with this guitar, but I've got a lot of nicks on it.
Yeah. But the main thing is about the wear, though. You know, the wear on the guitar. I just don't know where people are getting all this wear.
That's
from.
wear.
Yeah. And you know my other one. You know what else? Let me tell you this. Here we go. Good people.
Where?
Good people of the world. So they're the amplifiers. This guitar right here. This has done even more. Maybe that guitar's done 300. This has done 500 gigs. Do you know if the only damage to this guitar that's ever been done was done like 2 weeks ago when I threw a cable over my shoulder and it nicked the top of the guitar. This is a 2000 410 Taylor 410. It's in perfect shape, and I've played this for thousands of hours, but there's nothing. The frets aren't worn out. I don't know. Maybe I'm not playing it right.
Okay, I'm going to see how the pedals go with this, right? I get to be like that guy on the pedal show now. Do you ever watch that pedal show, guys?
I've watched it before.
Tommy guy and the Aussie guy. And they always go, that is my clean sound. Do you like that? Was that authentic?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah? So... pretty good, eh?
That's good.
So that's a bit of overdrive, slight overdrive. So here's without. And then. Sounds pretty good, right?
Sounds good, yeah.
Let's put a bit of delay on top of that.
You know, it's
sounds
funny.
pretty good to me
People
too.
that are tuning into the show are probably wondering, like, what kind of show is this where the guy just like runs off the camera every 5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
But I had to get
everyone who was underprepared today.
Look what I've got. Look what I've got. I've
Oh,
got
that's nice.
golden multi-act nylon string too. So my friend Blake let me borrow this. He's actually selling this. He bought this brand new. I should sell it for him on here. All right, first bid, top bid. Anybody first? Who's got the first bid? No, he bought this for $2,600. It's one of those. It's got the MIDI where you can program it into the Roland amp, and you can make it sound like a violin.
That is beyond my competence.
And but he's only selling it for the low price of $1,200, less than half of what he paid for it.
Wow,
very reasonable.
That is a bargain.
It is a bargain. It really is a bargain. But all right, so now what I'm doing is now we're really messed up because I'm using this nylon string guitar into the Spark.
Through the pedals.
I've got it through the pedals. Yes.
Nice. That's cool. How about some cleans? I've got a bit of chorus. How's that? Bit more treble there.
Hey, everybody out there, tell us if Simon and I are in sync. Go ahead, play it. I'm going to play along with you. Let's see if we're in sync here. Let's see if it sounds like a.
Does it sound like a car crash?
Just for a second. Okay. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'll play the right notes though.
Yeah, play the right notes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Here we go. We'll see. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be nice. We'll see what. Were we in sync? Out of sync? Anybody?
Out of sync. So, but that's a pretty cool guitar sound as well, right? I've just got.
Nope, it says nope. Yeah. Try to do. What if we could pull this off? Let me tell you how good I am at guitar. It says that Mark is on a slight delay, which means I've got to go ahead of you a little bit. So go ahead and count one. Let's do it again. Go ahead. Let's do it again. We're going to do a tough one.
You're going to count us in, and I'm going to play a little bit behind you.
You play behind me. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can't do it. I just can't. That's my head. Okay.
Want to try 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can't cope with the pressure.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna play ahead of him. Watch this. Go. I'm gonna play ahead of you. Go ahead. Start. I'm gonna play ahead of you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Play. Start it. I can do it over the riff. Go ahead and play it. I'm gonna play ahead of you and play it in time. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4.
How was that? Was that even closer? This one was worse. It's like impossible to do. It's really tough.
I believe it's physics that stops us playing.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to the topic of the video, Mark?
Yes, yeah. So anyway, well, first of all, why is it that everybody hates the Spark, right? It's like people want everybody that does a review of it. I'm a bit quieter. Oh, my guitar, yeah. All right. Am I loud? Oh, am I loud enough there?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a loud person. All right. So why is it that everybody that does a review starts off, I wanted to hate this amp, but you know what? I love it. Like, why did you want to hate it? First of all, why do you want to hate something anyway? There's enough hate. I don't want to be all, Ringo, but there's enough hate anyway. So why do you want to start off like hating something? Like, what did the positive grid people do to you? And the Yamaha is like its stiffest competition, right? Yamaha people, like, are they saints? Are the Yamaha people like in business with Mother Teresa of Calcutta or something? Like, what's the deal? Like, is that why people want to hate the Spark? I've actually see how I can bring Mother Teresa into the conversation?
So for me, can I say, so when I did a video, which you should definitely check out, it's an excellent video where I compared the Spark and the Yamaha. And so my main thing is that I just want to plug the thing in, play. like the whole, choose the amp and all that kind of stuff.
You don't need that. You got to watch my video on how to play without the app. Then you'll know.
No, I know, and it's okay. But I just preferred the Yamaha. I preferred the sound of it. I just preferred the whole thing. But that's just me.
Which Yamaha did you have now? Is it priced the same? Only the TH5 is comparable.
THR-5, I think.
Yeah, the 5 is, yes, that's comparable price-wise, but yeah.
I just preferred it. It sounded more like a guitar amp to me.
Yeah, there's definitely something. There's a little bit of processing go. I'm getting more and more used to it, though, and the algorithms are getting better and better. I mean, really now, I think most people probably, unless you're like a producer like Rick Beato or something, or, or Mutt Lang, they can really hear the nuances. But you make a point on something else, too. You lose a lot when we upload videos to YouTube, good people out there. YouTube compresses the crap out of it. So if you think it, here's what happens. I record something, my microphone picks it up, and that's compressing it. Then it goes into my recorder, and whatever I do to it, that's changing the sound. And then I render it, which compresses it significantly. And then uploading it to YouTube compresses it even more. And then you consume it, listen to it on your headphones or on your iPhone. There's no way you could possibly even get close to what the sound is like.
Do you, when you record the audio for your videos, do you use waves or MP3s?
I use wave.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I try to make it as, but still, the thing is, 82% of people use their cell phones to listen. There's no way in a million years you couldn't, if I played a $5,000 guitar and a $50 guitar, that after all that compression, between the microphone and rendering the video and then uploading it to YouTube, and then most people on the user end listening to it on a cell phone, they couldn't tell the difference. There's no way you can tell subtleties. And, people watch these videos like, Rick does a video with strings where, the thickness of the strings, like who the heck can hear? And people write these, I hear the mids and stuff like that. They hear the mids with this, right? Yeah, they're full of shit. They're full of shit. Anyway.
Well, I've got to say that I really like this thing. It's pretty simple. It's basically got volume, and then it's got 3 different amp settings, like clean, crunchy, crazy, for like high gain stuff. I think it sounds awesome.
So this amp, so I agree with Simon, even though I didn't give mine a fair shake. There's another one that's really good. It's like $50. It's the Laney. It's a little blue Laney amplifier, and it's just straight up the gut. Doesn't have a lot of effects, no frills, but I'm gonna do a video on it soon. I bought like 5 battery amps, and the Laney sounded by far the best. But what am I gonna say? I lost.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty clean, right?
Hey, one question here. We can actually do something useful and give it a little education. Bert asks, why do some amps have effects loop? You want to explain what effects loop do?
I would love to explain an effects loop. So basically, it's all about where the pedals sit versus the amplifier. So imagine if you've got a guitar cable going straight into the amplifier, right? That's the purest situation. So but then you want to put some effects, and your amplifier doesn't have an effects, unlike the tiny Boss amp, which already has delay and gain on it. But if you didn't have that, and you put your pedals in series, so you basically plug your guitar into your pedals and then pedals into the amp, what's happening is that the pedals are effectively in front of the amp.
Yeah, well, explain. Right? You have to explain, though. The only amps that have effects loops are amps where the head, the preamp, and the post amp. There's the speaker section of it, which is the amplifier, and then there's the head of the amplifier where you have your knobs, which is the pre. So there's an order there. So if you just have
so the effects loop, what I was getting to was the effects loop. Basically, you can plug some of your pedals in if you like, and usually it's modulation or time-based effects, and in between the stages of the amp.
Yeah.
So if you want your gain before it hits the amp to drive the amp more, but you don't want your gain to hit the delay after it's hit the amp and before it comes out of the amp, if you know what I mean. So you basically get guitar, gain, pre-amp, delay, delay, reverb, post, out the amp, right? And some people think it makes a difference if you do that, particularly really heavy stuff, right? So a lot of those really heavy guys, they use reverb or delay or time-based effects in the effects loop.
If you look on the back, somebody said something about my amp doesn't have it. If you look on the back of your amplifier, if you don't have a cable that's plugged in already, like nothing to do that you plugged in, that when you bought the amplifier, show them the back of your amp. Like the amp right there that Simon's got in the chair, that's not going to have it because it doesn't have a pre and a post in it. There we go. That's your.
So this is an Ibanez TSA-15H, which is a very underrated amplifier, can I say? So you see here on the back, I've got send and return, right? So what I used to do when I used to use this a lot more is that I actually would Velcro a reverb pedal to the top of the amp. And I used to have the reverb pedal in the effects loop, which is cool. So it's like having an onboard reverb for this amp, which doesn't have reverb. And I need reverb. So, but this is very clever, this amp. I reckon if you can find one of these, they're probably really, really cheap nowadays because it says Ibanez on the front and not Fender or Marshall. And it's a terrific sound. And it also has, which is really cool, it has an onboard tube screamer, which is awesome. And it switches between 5 and 15 watts. So 5 for home and then 15 if you want to go and do a gig.
I'm going to draw a picture for the people. So if you see the picture right here, so a combo amp is basically these two parts. Like if you have like a half stack, a combo amp is just both parts built into one. So if you don't use the effects loop, your effects go before the preamp. Let me turn this down. Go before the preamp, and then they go preamp, and then they get colored by the preamp, and then they go into the amp, the post amp. If you use the loop, then the effects go after the preamp, so they're less colored, and then the effects are just going to go through the post amp. So the effects are going to be driven there. So it's basically, and like Simon said, some people don't want to have the EQ portion or the compression of the preamp on their time-based stuff, on their modulation. So they'll put their distortion and stuff in front, but they'll put reverb and delay and chorus in the effects loop. That's correct, Simon, right? Am I stating that? Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly right. So and particularly if you have loads and loads of gain, that can affect how the delay reacts.
Absolutely.
Or the chorus reacts, or any of those sorts of modulation effects, right? So a modulation effect is like a chorus or a flanger or a phaser, that sort of stuff. A time-based effect is like a delay, whether it's an analog delay or a digital delay or an echo unit or a whatever, echoplex or whatever, right? And so if you've got gain hitting that before it hits the amp, it's going to sound different than if you've got it in between the stages of the amp, basically. And it depends what you prefer. It's like a lot of people put a fuzz after the wah.
Yeah.
Whereas I like the fuzz before the wah.
Me too.
Because I think it's a cooler sound. But it's not for everybody. I mean, they're wrong, but it sounds great before, but there's no real rule around this stuff. But like in that Ibanez example I showed you, it was really awesome to have the reverb there, because then all I needed to do is I just Velcroed it to the top of the amp and I could use the onboard tube screamer. Right. So I literally went from my guitar into the amp, and it's got an external pedal that switches the tube screamer on and off. Right. And it had reverb. So it had all I needed to do a gig with.
Very simple. Yeah. Very simple.
It was awesome. So I used to there was lots of gigs when I used to use that had a cab already there, like a 4x12 or a 2x12 or something like that, a cabinet with speakers in it. And so basically I just took my speaker cable, I took the guitar, and like literally that is my load in.
Yeah.
Which was very exciting, can I tell you?
I used to come in just with an effects unit and like go through the house. But I want to mention something. Hey, Alonzo, how are you? So another thing that a lot of people don't know, and we're kind of tangenting here, but if you're recording at home and you're recording, let's say, vocals or guitars, and you use a lot of chorus and reverb, those time-based effects are very labor intensive to your hard drive. They're very demanding on your hard drive. So if you don't know how to use bussing, don't be afraid of bussing. I know a lot of people that don't know how to bus. I'm going to explain bussing. It's so simple. If you have two vocal parts, rather than putting a reverb on both vocal parts, you're just going to send both vocals to an additional track. So if you bus something, you create an extra track, and that track only has effects on it. So then you can apply your reverb and your whatever, and then you can choose which tracks you want to have reverb on. And that way you're only using one reverb or one chorus or one delay, and it'll make your life a lot easier unless you have a supercomputer. If that's why.
And you should always, as an aside, you should always record a clean track anyway.
Yeah, you should never. Yeah, great. You should never record with effects printed. The only time, and you can learn how to do this in the mixer, I like to have a little bit of reverb on my voice when I do vocals. So I'll just put it in the phones, but I won't actually print it. In other words, I'll hear it in the recording, but it's actually not recording the reverb. It's just in the mix, in the headphone mix.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I am. Well, that's really nice. What's wrong with that?
Dennis makes a good analogy here, like barbecue. Why is grilling a man's thing? Like, why is it because of the fire and stuff?
Yes. And also, there's actually that's an integral part of Australian life, the barbecue.
Yeah, shrimp on the barbecue.
It was only after I'd been living in Australia for 10 years that I was allowed anywhere near a barbecue in Australia. It's actually a legal thing, like, mate, like that. It's true.
I'm knowledgeable about several different things, but I have to admit my knowledge of Australia, other than I've been studying the geography since I met Simon, I know a little more about it. Really, I learned a lot from Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, well, I mean, that is literally like a documentary, that film.
Yeah, it kind of is, right? Yeah.
100%.
No, and I know, I also learned, I watched the murder show on where what was the animal the wallaby that took the kid that stole
the dingo.
The dingo. Yeah, the dingo stole the baby.
That's a very, very sad story.
It is. Yeah, of course, anything like that. Yeah. But the dingo took the, so that's, our animals here, think about the difference between the nice, laid-back, calm U.S. and the wild West that is Australia. Our animals here, my dogs, they come up and I pet them and they lick me and, they're cute and all. You go to Australia, the pets steal babies and eat them.
Pretty much, yeah. But they're wild dogs, though, dingoes.
Dingoes eat the kids.
But I have to be careful in my front lawn. I have to be careful in my backyard here. There's always dingoes in there, and kangaroos, snakes, spiders, all sorts of stuff in there. You got to watch it.
Hey, do the kangaroos ever put anything else in the pouch besides their kids? Like when the females, when they're collecting, they collect like nuts and they put them in the pouch.
They usually have a 6-pack of beers in there. They love it.
They do like what the cyclists do, right? They have the little pack, where they have the straw going over their shoulder and they can just drink the beer.
Yeah, that's right. So, to rudely get back to our subject matter, I think that, so my main thing with all these small amps is that they are all pretty good. And that compared to my Gorilla, whatever it was.
Oh my God, right?
3, 4. Like, that thing was awful. It didn't have a good clean sound. It didn't have a good sound. It had a button that you could go like that, and it just went like that. It was horrible, truly, truly horrible. And now there's loads of these amps. So whether you're like a noodler, like if you like to kind of get, I like this sound, this sound, this sound, this sound, the Spark is awesome for you. If you're a bit like me, you're a bit of a Luddite, and you're like, I must just press the button.
Yeah, I'm not a noodler, but I like the Spark. I'm a non.
No, I know, but it does give you way more.
Yeah, too many options a lot of times. Yeah.
Like, and for me, it's too much because it just. So I've got students who've got it who've never had an amp before, and then they just want to play, but like all the presets are already presetted to something. So what often happens is that they bring it round, and then I literally program number one as literally nothing, just the amp model.
You know what secret weapon I had when I was younger? Good people of the world, listen to this advice here. So when I was younger and people were fiddling with their pedals, I practiced. When people were learning how to like set up the guitars and the height of the bridge, I practiced. When people were talking about, the tone of this guitar over the other guitar, I practiced. And when people were, at the advent of the internet, when people were going online, looking all over for guitars to buy and things like that, I practiced. So that really gave me the edge because I actually played rather than all the other crap that is basically avoiding playing, right? A lot of that is just avoiding playing, I think.
No, I totally agree. And so, yes, literally everything in Australia will kill and eat you. So don't come. I will eat you. So don't come.
Don't you guys depend on tourism? Isn't that big business there?
We keep digging stuff out of the ground and selling to China. It'll be fine.
Hey, if you guys don't know, so I learned this about Australia. So if you look at the continent or the country, Oceania, there's a whole thing about that. Everything is on the outside. Everything is on the coast. As soon as you get like a little bit inland, it's all just the bush. The bush is big. It's a big bush.
Yeah, mate.
Giant bush.
It
What's
is
the bush?
85%
of the 85% of the of Australia is uninhabited.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I bet everybody lives on the coast, pretty much.
Yeah, everybody lives on the coast, right?
Yeah. But I'm in a city sort of thing, but I'm still not very far from the coast. I'm probably like 5Ks or 8Ks from the coast or something.
How far are you from the Opera House?
Oh, not far, about half an hour bus ride.
Oh, but it's not like you don't just like jog down the street and there's the Opera House, though.
Mate, I play the guitar for a job, so no. Yeah.
I grew up in Connecticut, and I was in line at somewhere one time, and somebody said, I said, yeah, I somehow it came out that I owned a house, and they said, you own a house in the town I grew up in. You own a house in Trumbull, and you're a musician. I'm like, I promise you, I own the smallest, oldest house in the town. I literally owned the smallest, oldest house in the town. All right, I think we have to go. We're going to do a better job next time of staying.
Well, it's the end of the year. It's the end of the year. We're all tired. It's all good. We showed you how awesome this Boss thing is. That is seriously awesome, don't you think?
I think
we dispelled the myth that certain pedals don't sound good through certain amps. I think that is true, though. So I think that's what people mean, that when they say it takes pedals well, it means that it takes every pedal. Whereas some pedals don't like certain amps. It's just how it is.
Let me ask people before we head out. So my video tomorrow, here was my idea. I want to get a little people like the idea. So first of all, I decided to do it live. Instead of doing all this recording stuff, I just went out, had a couple 12 strings and just wing it. And so what I did was I said, what is the best song to play on the 12 string? And then I say, well, there's a lot of variables. And then I give one qualifier, and then I play a song. And I'll give you a couple examples. I'm not going to give too many. Like, if you love the underdog story, and I play like that. If you believe that the best thing in rock is still the perfect 2-minute single, and I play Do you believe in magic? I play that one. And it's fun stuff like that. If you graduated high school in 1987. These are all 12-string songs. So I thought that was kind of cool. If you like prog rock. What do you guys think? Anybody there? Nobody? Everybody's like falling asleep.
I like it.
Yeah, Mark.
Oh, and by the way, can I just encourage everybody just to click the like button?
Yeah. Like the video. Heck yeah.
Yeah, like it. Just do it now.
I should start doing that too.
Yeah, and subscribe to our channels.
I think most people are subscribed to both.
Well, you've got to say, right? That's how it works. It's like, people won't come to your party if you don't invite them.
I change that now. You know what I do? At the end of every video, I say, if you've made it this far and you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's like, you know what? If you watched 7 minutes of my video, then why Nexus Fogelberg? What's that?
Isn't it a Swedish death metal band?
Oh, I thought it was like Dan Fogelberg's brother or something.
No, I really hope it's a Swedish death metal band. All right. Well, happy Festivus, everyone.
Yeah, everybody, whatever you guys celebrate, just be safe, okay? And we'll see you all. I'll see you all tomorrow on the chat.
Yeah, I might not see you for a little while because I'm going on a little.
Are we doing one in 2 weeks?
I don't think so.
I know, because that's the first day of the year for you. So we'll be
Yeah,
back. We'll be back January 7th. We'll be back.
I don't think I will.
Oh,
but we'll
okay.
talk about it.
Maybe
I'm going on holiday.
We may do a little guitar show without Simon. We'll see what happens.
Oh my God! Maybe I can just be on my phone and on the beach. Like
that would be fine. I mean, that would sound good.
Yeah, why not? I'm sure we can figure it out.
Well, hey, you could be on the beach, and I'll do what's it called, quadrophenia. You know, we can do the.
That's good, and I could have like a scooter with loads of mirrors.
All right, everybody, be good, be safe. We'll see. Hey, Sal, I got to talk to you. Where do you live in California, Sal? Quick, give me the answer, Sal. Do you live in LA, Southern California? I'm going to be out there. Anyway, Sal, email me, Sal. Anybody that lives near Southern California, email me because I'm going to be out there in April and I need some help. And it's easy help. It's not like moving or anything like that, or it's nothing bad. It's good. It's good stuff. Anyway, Lake Elsinore. I got to find out where that is and see how far he is from Anaheim. But all right, everybody, good night. Thank you.
Ciao. Have a good Chrissy. Cheers, mate.